Hey guys, and welcome to A Cast of Salt.
Hey, 2019.
Woo! Woo! Look at us go. First video of the year and most clickbaity video we have ever done.
We're starting strong.
So half of you have probably clicked because of the title, so let's see how that pans out. Let's see what that sounds like in actual fact. But before we do get into that juicy topic, introducing the cast
so
today.
Much juice.
I just got that.
Starting us off, we have Adam.
Hello.
Right in the back there, we have Ryan.
Yo!
And Mr. Host here, who forgot about the cast and slept in and decided to rock up 30 minutes late, is Ben.
I mean, Ben lives in Melbourne now, so someone had to take up the mantle.
I've taken up the mantle, Ben. I'm covering for you, buddy. Okay. Who wants to do the honors?
So let's just start with the
actually, no, let's do our usual. How have we been? What's been happening? What's been happening in the life of Adam in the last?
It's good. 2019. It's going great. I'm not playing many video games at the moment. But no, dude, still so much Smash Brothers. Like, I've been playing heaps of that. It's been a lot of fun. And I bought Max Payne 3. Which
Ooh.
I fucking love. I love the Max Payne series. I might try and get some content out of it. But yeah, like those games are fucking awesome, man. The game was on sale over the Christmas break, and I was like, oh yes,
I want this.
Because it was still like $40 or some shit, and I was like, what the fuck? This game came out a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I was on a huge discount, so I was like,
Is it on One? I didn't realize it was. Is it on Xbox One?
No.
Oh, you
No,
got
it's only
it
on
on
Steam.
Steam?
Only on Steam
Yeah.
now. So I
Yeah,
was
that
like
is-
kind of fucking hanging out for it.
Do you know what is surprising though? None of us have played Smash against each other. Like,
We haven't.
all this time.
You might need to ask Ryan how his week has been.
Ryan, how's your week been?
We got a family Switch.
Nice.
So I've now got
He's ready for us.
access to Smash Brothers.
He now has Smash Brothers.
Occasional access to Smash Brothers. It's not my Switch, let's make it that clear. But I have occasional access to Smash Brothers. And Let's Go, for that matter.
Good
Pokemon
stuff. Good
Yeah.
stuff. Yes, I feel this needs to happen now.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
It's
bring him
long
all in.
overdue.
Start
long
getting
overdue.
that shit together.
All right. Anything else? Sorry.
No.
Adam.
How have you been?
For me, pretty chill. Yeah, just did nothing over the break. Still a little bit of overwatching here and there. Kind of cut down a little bit. It's like an obsession that I'm trying to
You're trying to like wean yourself off
Wean
the
myself
amount
off.
of Overwatch you're still playing.
off my cocaine addiction.
Jesus.
I'm trying to think if there's obviously Smash and stuff as well, but probably not as much as you. I've like kind of got over the whole journey of like Shindig pretty quickly. I'm just, like,
it's long, man.
so repetitive.
I did it. I 100% of that motherfucker, and I was like, "Thank you, God, it's over." New Game Plus, fuck.
Yeah, man, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And then, but I'm still smashing through, trying to get through all the classic mode as well. Probably halfway through now. I say halfway, but I still got a bunch of characters to unlock, so
Yeah.
so it's still a bit of a ways to go. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy, just chill sort of a break, I think. So, all right,
Yeah.
shall we?
Yeah. Shall we?
I think we shall.
I think Ryan's the most excited about this story.
I'm not
4 minutes into the video, and people are like, "Come on, talk about the
Tell us.
fucking biohackers."
Certainly,
All right, go on with the article.
certainly not.
So,
Certainly. The article is: man injects 18 doses of semen into his arm to cure back pain.
God.
so you
And
heard
ends
it.
up in hospital.
You
Go
heard it
figure.
here first. Semen cures back pain.
Oh my
Should
God.
tell that to all your partners.
This fucking story is so amazing, and the reason we've said, we could talk about this on the podcast. It was like a Gizmodo story. So it's close enough.
Like,
I think
is it tech? Sure.
I think we're all just in shock a little bit. It's just
Why can't we talk about this? We
so.
must.
So the details of the story is the guy has chronic back pain.
Yeah.
He went to the doctors complaining of back pain because he recently lifted something.
Was this in the US? I didn't.
No, I think it's
Ireland.
UK.
The,
Ireland.
I thought it was Ireland.
So-
Yeah,
I thought
Ireland.
it was like if it's like Russia or something. I'm like, yeah, I guess they're pretty fucking crazy, but like,
Ireland. It's still pretty.
There's crazy people all over the world.
Oh
Don't
my
worry.
God.
Don't you worry.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so he went to the doctor complaining of back pain, and he's like, "Oh, my back's a bit sore." Doctor took a bit of a look at his arm, and he's like, "Oh, mate, your arm's a bit swollen." He's like, oh yeah, I've been injecting myself with semen.
For the last 18 months.
So
it's so perfect.
The doctor
Who would have thought?
The doctor's just like,
brilliant.
oh shit.
Yeah, what are you
Give this man the Nobel Prize.
I think this man's found the cure for cancer.
So as you can imagine, his arm was swollen, and it was actually full of air as well. So he was like immediately hospitalized.
So imagine part of it is A, he's injecting semen. B, he's doing a medical procedure that he probably doesn't know how to do.
I want to know the specifics. Was it going into his bloodstream, or was he just injecting it into like the muscle in his arm to be like
both?
Boop.
Like, so I can just imagine this guy with a syringe and then just sticking it in his arm. It's like wherever it goes, it's where it goes.
Why in your arm? Why not in your back where you're getting the vein?
He couldn't reach. He couldn't quite.
Oh my god. This story makes no fucking sense. It makes no fucking sense.
And then, so he was hospitalized for this. They gave him like antibiotics and all this sort of crap. To which he checked himself out once his back pain was cured.
So he's like, my back's okay.
My back's okay. See you later. Back to injecting myself with semen.
Would not be surprised if he actually has.
We're gonna get another news article. That man is dead.
Oh goddamn, that is crazy though. But because in the article itself, it even states just like, the first recorded instance of someone injecting semen.
It's like recorded. It's like people actually do
documented.
People do this, but like this is the first time someone's owned up to do it.
It's just so bad. But then the article even like linked to biohacking and stuff, and like talked about this guy who like he's apparently like a CEO of a company, injected himself with like a controversial herpes treatment like on stage. It's just like what is
so
wrong with
fucking
people?
crazy.
So did the article go into the details of what the injection composed of or anything like that?
I didn't get that far in it, sorry. We sort of
we got started before you found that out.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because that just makes me curious. It's like, what else would somebody just be like,
it's very wordy, this one.
That's
so
gonna help my health. I'm gonna inject that.
Yeah.
Like, what would you look at? Like, almost a serious question.
How do you make the connection of back pain equals semen injections?
Yeah, but like to broaden.
How do you do that?
To broaden the question out a little bit, would you just be like, I like the taste of apple juice. Apple juice is very healthy for me. Maybe I should start injecting myself with apple juice because it's gonna be good for my semen production.
So I honestly like I'm reading this paragraph about this other guy. So this guy was his name was Aaron Trewick, and he was the CEO of Ascendance Biomedical. And you know what this fucking sounds like? It's almost like
Alphamax, Spider-Man demo.
Yeah. I went there.
It sounds like. It honestly sounds like the same. It comes from the same place as like flat earthers. Like if you read it, it's like a biotech outfit that aims to cure cancer, herpes, HIV, and aging, while simultaneously battling big pharma and regulatory agencies like FDA.
Yeah.
Much of this, he believes, will be accomplished by, quote, bold, brave individuals resurrecting the scientific tradition of self-experimentation.
That's fucked. No, that is not a bold tradition. That shit is like...
It's a crazy...
That is horror movie shit. That is not... I would like you to tell me a point in history where people would like experiment on themselves. People have died doing experiments like Marie Curie, who was like... died of cancer effectively, pretty much because she gave herself too much radiation while developing x-rays. But, like, she wasn't like, I'm just gonna fucking stand in front of this thing, give me radiation, just start beaming it into myself. She didn't do that.
So the difference
when she was experimenting, she didn't know that x-rays were dangerous.
Yeah. So that's the difference, right? She was trying to make scientific progress, and there was
these fucking idiots are just like, let's just inject myself with something. Let's see what happens.
At no point did she say, I'm experimenting on myself. She was just in the process of experimenting, and there was a negative side effect to it. Whereas these people are like, yes, I'm the best test subject to prove my point that I'm 100% certain is going to work exactly as I think.
That's
it
how
will
the
work.
Green Goblin happened, man. That's exactly how the Green Goblin happened.
So he apparently did this. He apparently did this at
Don't be the Green Goblin.
Body hacking con.
Right.
A
body hacking con.
Yeah.
Jesus
And
Christ.
the crowd included such highlights as an artist with an ear implanted on his arm, a mathematician peddling DIY abortion pills, and many with various,
Oh, that is so bad.
many with various electronic chips implanted into their hands.
What? Oh, dude.
Like obviously like wireless.
Yeah,
tap.
people. I've heard of people putting like RFID chips in them, so basically you could like, it's like Apple Pay, but it's in your hand. Boop.
I remember even in uni, someone was talking about it. It's just like, yeah, there's this dude that is very much into the Internet of Things and biohacking, and put a few chips into himself, and he unlocks his doors at home. Basically, does everything with these chips that he's put into himself.
Yeah.
And I like, to an extent, I'm like, oh my God, that's not bad.
That's
kind
alright.
of like, you can think of cool.
You can think of cool things to
do.
do. Yeah, exactly. That's
But
a
then
bit
there are some
different to being
very
like,
stupid things that you could also
I want to
do.
grow an ear on my arm. Why?
Okay.
I can do it. Why not?
So I think
Crazy.
the best part of this
So crazy.
is when they talk about his background. This is, by the way, just so
Yep.
you know, this isn't the same guy that injected semen into his arm. We're on to another crazy.
We've
crazy
moved on.
one now.
We're just a spiral
He has a
of crazy
penchant
right
for
now.
making the sort of grandiose statements that a scientist rarely makes. In fact, he's not a scientific
Scientist.
He has little scientific background at all. His undergraduate education at the University of Blah focused on philosophy, sociology, and the environment.
He did a Bachelor of Arts.
Yeah.
He did a Bachelor of Arts, and now
I'm a learned
he's
man trying to inject myself with goat semen.
So no, but you said he's the CEO of a company. This we're talking.
Ascendance Biomedical.
It's a company of 3 people.
It's
Surely.
his own company that is just like he's made in his basement, and just like, I do these things now. I am going to fight big pharma and cure cancer. That's in my mind. That's how it's
so I have
panning out to
a few
be.
questions here for the table.
And for the audience as well.
Would you inject yourself with semen in your arm if you had scientific proof that it actually can cure your back pain? If it actually worked, would you do it?
Is this where I go
The
to
idea of being like injecting your own semen into yourself.
Would I be going to a medical professional to do this? Like,
No, you'd be doing it yourself.
You do it yourself, but you know that it's gonna work. Would you do
to
it?
cure my chronic back pain.
Would you do
It's
it?
a tough question.
Like, imagine that it fixed your back. Like, imagine you had broken your back or something, and you knew that it would fix your back.
I would.
Jesus,
I
I'd
would.
be like, you know what? Nah, modern medicine,
Like,
please.
I'm gonna
The thing
stay
is-
broken.
The thing that I have with this sort of thing, right, is like, what happens is imagine there was a cure, right? There was some cure in semen that did something,
crazy.
right? The thing is, if people would study it, figure out that it was, protein /
some
enzyme
aspect of it, and then
AZPN.
extract that. Yeah.
Instead of being like, you know what?
Put that into a thing of saline, inject that.
Hence why I was like,
Granddad-
can I go to a medical profession to do
Yeah,
this?
exactly.
Granddaddy knows best. That has to be the full juice. That has to be everything.
That's the thing. That's why.
All or
That's why
nothing,
we have
buddy.
stomachs that break things down. That's why, like in your apple juice example, apple juice is good for you. Yes, injecting it isn't because
It's-
your bloodstream doesn't know how to break down
It
apple
doesn't
juice.
want all this sugar and all of this
Yeah,
extra vitamins and whatever else is in apple
and
juice.
plant matter. Right.
Yes.
That's the thing. That all gets broken down.
Oh
Boy,
god.
Anyway, can we
boy,
talk
oh
about
boy.
some gaming news now?
Oh my god.
Maybe.
I kind of don't want to now. Oh my god.
We can come back to this topic.
How
I'm curious
amazing.
as to
How amazing.
All right, anybody
Yeah,
listening, if there's anything you know of people injecting themselves or just doing weird shit,
Dude, just send us
Please let
biohacking
us
stories.
know.
I want to read more of these
Please
fucking
let us
things.
know.
These are great.
Oh, I got one. There's a guy that put magnets under his fingertips so he could sense like magnet metal. Like
Fuck, man, that's a cool party trick, but then if you, say, had to go for an MRI, that could end so badly.
oh, that's gonna hurt. But
But
what-
I feel like these people are
Imagine
the sorts of
explaining
people
that
that
to a
wouldn't
doc-
go for
imagine-
an MRI.
That's-
Why?
true.
Yeah, MRIs are evil. Why? What's the purpose of sensing metal? Like, Am I gonna be like,
people want to
here's
give
the wall,
dude?
I don't know if there's metal behind it.
These-
Oh my god, there's metal behind this wall! Yay!
There are people.
I have validated my finger magnets.
There are people that want to sort of be cyborgs, and so they kind of feel like any enhancement.
I don't see that as an enhancement.
There was another guy that
that is not an enhancement.
he put magnets in that little thing in front of your earlobe, whatever.
I can't remember what it's called, but
I can't remember what it's called. The little bit of cartilage there. Anyway.
Oh, these Traegers? Or?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, he put magnets in there so that he could hear electromagnetic signals. Yeah. See, that one, it kind of makes sense. It's like, there's Wi-Fi around here.
Oh, how shitty would that be, though? Literally walk through the city.
Exactly. But that's the thing. It's like, that's what he wanted.
The guy just gave himself the worst superpower ever. The worst superpower.
Oh, for anybody that knows, okay, we have a D&D campaign that we do separately to all of our APOS stuff.
Yeah.
It's what the Rock chick did to Bacon. So there's a character we ran into who is a stone creature.
It's like
and
a
we
gemstone thing.
Chris, our friend, playing this psychedelic, messed up gnome who kept hitting on this rock creature. And
so he wanted to know what it would be like if he could fuck it.
So the rock
running a pretty wild D&D campaign.
The rock creature, being sick of all his shit, puts a piece of rock in behind his ear, and anytime he talks to her, he just hears a constant ringing in his ear. That's what that makes me think of.
Yeah. Except people did this willingly.
Yes.
I think honestly people read too many Spider-Man comics and are like, you know what's cool? I want to give myself some superpowers. I'm the next Tony Stark.
Actually, saying that, there was a show that was like real life superpowers and stuff, and there was it featured people that could do sort of like feats of strength and that sort of stuff, and there was like a guy that could just run electricity through his body without any.
That's fucking
cool.
I remember saying that.
As an Indian guy,
So my favorite superpower, and they haven't. I think they might have done actually medical tests, but that there's a theory that Ozzy Osbourne and Keith Richards have
developed superpowers from smoking so much weed,
and it's not a superpower as in like they can fly, but it's like that they have actually superhuman
tolerance to
tolerances, and also their organs are perform at a higher level than most people because the proof was that any other human being would be dead from the amount of drugs that they've done and how much they've fucked their bodies up. And they're just like, and I think they did tests on Ozzy Osbourne or something, and he was just like, apparently his liver could process shit at a crazy rate level. And you're just like, that's why he's not dead yet. He's like, oh yeah, I guess that's probably why. And you're like, oh my god. I was like, I love it. It's the best.
Shit.
Should we talk about Activision?
Yes.
And Bungie.
Bungie, Activision. Adam, Bungie's your jam.
Yeah, so this is interesting. So basically what they did is they effectively divorced their partnership over Destiny. And Bungie is still going to be continuing to work on all the Destiny stuff, all the content drops. Destiny 3 has been in the works before Forsaken, the latest DLC, year 2 effectively.
Yeah.
Has been out. So there's there's a this is both good and bad news for a lot of people. The good news is the community itself fucking hate Activision. And the funny story as well, I heard this from one of my mates. I should find the source before I fucking start randomly quoting. But apparently
you heard it here first.
But apparently their all hands meeting, when the news got announced in Bungie's all hands meeting, the staff cheered.
So not only the community hated Activision, Bungie hated Activision.
I actually heard that as well. I read that on an article. I'm pretty sure.
So there was. So I think it's more because.
So sorry, just to kind of give me some context and maybe potentially some of the listeners as well. What was the nature of the relationship, Bungie-Activision relationship?
So Bungie were the developers, and Activision also provided some studios to assist with building. Activision bankrolled the majority of it as well, because Bungie's still technically like they're a very big studio, but they're also still an independent studio.
Yeah.
Like they don't have like Halo came out because of Bungie's partnership with Microsoft Studios. Like so Microsoft bankrolled the game, and that's why you're never seeing Halo on anything else other than Xbox.
Yeah.
But
except for PC.
Yeah, and PC. Well, now PC. Yeah.
Well, PC early on as well.
Early on. Yeah. So, like, you're not seeing it on any Sony product.
I've still got a Games for Windows Live copy of Halo 2 lying around.
It's a good game, man. They're all good games. Bungie make good games. I love Halo, and I love Destiny.
Bungie games, yes.
Yeah. So Marathon's actually pretty fun too. That's that is their version of Doom that they built for Mac, I believe.
My friends and I
it's a little Doom, like an OG Doom, like basically
2D, like 2D, 3D, 2D.
It exists in the same universe as Halo as well. It's pretty fucking crazy.
My friends and I used to have like big Halo lands. We'd like get Xboxes together, like original Xboxes with Halo 2.
Yeah.
And like just
those were good fun.
Play like big 16 player maps.
Yeah. So the thing is, there's been a lot of kind of talk because Bungie especially, and they've done this with a lot of their games, that they like having this like expansive lore, and they have a certain way of making games and telling stories that was noticeably pulled back in Destiny and in Destiny 2 as well. They've kind of expanded on a bit more now in Forsaken, but like being like, all the laws in like collectible cards you can pick up and all this stuff where generally, and you can tell that like there have definitely been decisions in the design of the game that have felt like Activision.
That's Activision rather than...
That is like, we need this microtransaction, we need this... And I'm not going to be like, I could just slam on Activision, and, you know, they do deserve it. But in the same way, like, they're obviously being like, you know, we know you guys make good games, but we're the biggest publisher pretty much.
Well, I think it's also a case of, you know... And you did say that Destiny was bankrolled by
Activision, exactly, right? and we're providing the funding for this,
and we get to make some decisions.
We're not going to pay for 15 story writers. You can have 5, sort of thing, you know.
They were giving them lots of resources, but it was also kind of like it was just like, this is how it's done because you guys make games, but we make money.
Yeah.
So
that's
we want
point,
this to make money. So
Activision are very much money focused. Whereas Bungie might have been more gameplay.
Well, obviously they want to keep the lights on, but like their whole shtick as like their like and their kind of ethos around a lot of development have been like story first.
Yeah. Make a good game, make a good story, and it'll sell itself, sort of thing. Or it will give.
Where Activision is like fucking microtransactions. You fucking pack that Eververse store up, baby. We need skins.
Skins galore.
Yeah, so...
And it's like, all this extra lore is not going to make us any more money.
Yeah, that's not going to make us money. Fuck that.
Just put what needs to go in for people to play the game.
What if, guys, what if we sold lore as DLC?
God damn it.
Microtransactions.
Dude, I think when we upload this to YouTube, like somehow like there's voice, like it listens to the video and then just sends that over to Activision. They're like... That is a good idea.
Not a bad idea.
But no, so they've basically had this split, and so the good news is that like if you're more hopeful, saying like, the last couple of Destiny releases, Forsaken has been really good. Black Armory is the latest like mini expansion. Like Forsaken is like
the big expansion,
big year
it's like
2 kind of thing.
Part 2 of the game.
Yeah.
Whereas this is here's like, a map or two, or here's a story or two.
Here's some extra content. Here's some new things to grind out, new weapons. Here's some blah blah. That's called Black Armory.
Nathan Fillion was in Destiny 2, wasn't he?
Pardon?
Nathan Fillion?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
In
So
Destiny
that was
in general. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was he's in Destiny and Destiny 2. Okay. So Forsaken is actually the story of him dying. Of that character dying.
Right.
Yeah. So
spoilers.
And and you go on this huge this like Western style
cowboy space cowboy.
Like all the Guardians like, no, we can't go in with you. Like we have to stay here and protect everyone, and we we can't go off running around trying to avenge murders. And your
And
character's like,
okay.
fuck that shit, I'm going. And then like you run off. It's very much like a Western vibe, which is what Destiny, from the start of Destiny 1, they've always wanted to make. I remember being in a pre kind of, I don't even know how I got tickets, but we got into this sit down chat with some of the lead developers before Destiny 1 came out, and we got some merch, and I got like t-shirts signed by the like designers and stuff. It was really cool. And we had a Q&A event, and we didn't even have gameplay. I think all we had was like the art, like
the concept,
and then they were talking about like what it's going to be like, and they were like, even then they were priming us and being like, it's not like Halo, it is in space, but it's not like, it's the vibe they wanted. They said they wanted a spaghetti western in space, like
so
that.
Firefly.
Yes. What?
Yes.
And hey, who they get? They got Nathan Fillion, and they
Alan
also
Tudyk?
No, they got Gina Torres though.
Nice.
So yeah, like they know what they're making.
Do you know that show that you loved and you wanted to keep making, but it got canned? Do you want to make a game of it instead?
So like that's the style of what they're doing.
Yeah.
So and hopefully they kind of continue in this vein. So the community is very excited about being like, maybe we get this back. Maybe
with Bungie
we get the
in the
feel
driving
of
seat
what we
now,
want.
they're gonna have their own creative direction, like more evident in the games now.
On the flip side, and you're not seeing this take often. I'm not seeing it a lot, but it was my friend. Like, so I'm in like Destiny 2, like clan chats and stuff, and one of my mates' first take on this was like, I like it, but Activision have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And if Bungie don't figure out, like, and Bungie have money, but like,
they don't have the same resources.
It means that like if they release Destiny 3 or Destiny 2 stops selling, rather when Destiny 3 comes out, if no one buys it,
they're screwed.
Then Bungie are fucked.
Yeah.
Like there's no safety net anymore.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking as well. Is like, as much as they you're saying, yeah, it's good for them to be splitting from Activision. As much as the focus may move away from money making, they still need to make money. And if for whatever reason things don't go their way, it's going to be much more difficult for Bungie now.
So Destiny 2 and I'm guessing 1 is on PC. Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep. On PC.
What platform are they on?
They're on all platforms.
Consoles?
No. As in, what PC platform are they on? Are they on Origin?
No. Okay. So here's the interesting thing: they are on the Blizzard launcher,
Activision
Blizzard launcher. But that was the first question. Like, am I going to lose? Like, am I going to have to get a new launcher? Like, what the fuck? And they're like, no, we still have that deal with
Activision.
With Activision, they will continue to host the game through the Activision Blizzard launcher.
Interesting.
So.
But it also means that they don't not tied to that platform either.
No, Destiny 3 will not be. I don't think it'll be. I think it'll probably go on Steam. Like, why?
Yeah,
why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Like, they're not Origin. They're not going to go to Origin. They're going to go to... And they're Bungie, so they'll just probably put it on Steam. Which, again, is good. Being on Steam is much more preferable than being...
It's more accessible.
Yeah. So, like, there's good and bad things about this, but it's not really. I think why people are so positive is not because it's necessarily a bad thing. It's just risky.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
right.
a risk.
That's it. That's
so
exactly
you're kind
right.
of like a bit nervous, be like, if it goes well, then Bungie get all the rewards, and Bungie know how to make great fucking games,
and they'll keep making great games, and they'll keep expanding in their direction.
And if they really do need to get someone else on board, they probably could go with Destiny 3 and try and see if someone else wants to partner with them. Like they get Ubisoft or they get Microsoft Studios, or they get like a huge. They won't get Microsoft Studios because like Destiny has been. It's not a PlayStation exclusive, but they've had deals in the past for launches of the full title games. Have been timed, not time. So there's always timed exclusives on certain like guns or some shit. Like basically, like if you get this on PlayStation, you get the Wave Splitter gun, which isn't on Xbox. I'm like,
okay,
cool, whatever. But like, so they're going to be a bit hesitant to go to Microsoft, but
Having said that,
They could.
last time I got one of those, I got like the pre-order bonus for like Borderlands 2, and they gave you like pre-order guns and stuff.
Yeah.
But they were like level 1 guns.
Like whatever.
You, like
Maybe
especially
like
in Borderlands.
maybe right at the start of the game, they might be helpful, but very, very quickly, just like, I found something much better.
Yeah, exactly.
And plus,
so it was like, whatever.
And as well, like even if you're like, oh, the gun, because apparently the PlayStation exclusive gun is actually quite good. But you're like, I'm only playing with other Xbox people.
Yeah.
So no one has. Like,
So
I'm
I
playing
don't
PvP.
care, yeah.
I'm not going to get fucking obliterated with a gun that I don't have access to.
Yeah.
Because no one I'm playing with has access to it.
Well,
So
you never know. With Destiny 3, they might go cross-platform, man.
they
could. They very
could.
well could.
That would be a game that would actually work really well.
Yeah.
PvE definitely. PvP is always a bit up in the air.
Yeah.
But it's like, honestly, like I think people are just very optimistic because like the game has been doing well, and Forsaken has definitely done well, but they haven't still sold the numbers that they wanted to on Destiny 2, or neither on Forsaken either.
Was that an Activision goal, or just in general? Is it like a
I think just generally that they forecasted that they would do better sales.
Yeah.
So I think that is probably again the reason why that Activision are like, maybe
you're
this isn't making the numbers that we want it to make. So that's also kind of a risk if Activision knows numbers that like we don't.
Yeah.
And then so it could be.
Yeah,
There's always a bit of nerves around
though,
that stuff.
I think Jim Sterling actually raised this. It's like every release these days, not just big releases and stuff. Every release afterwards, all the publishers are all saying it was a disappointing release.
So that
because they didn't get
so
some
the way that I see it,
number.
Exactly right. It's always an ambitious number. It's always, even outside of the gaming industry, even with work, like my work, they'll have a budget and a target that they're trying to hit to say, yep, we're gonna grow our business by 30% and get 30% more revenue.
Like, that's a
over
big
the course of the year.
fucking number.
It's a big number, and why? I'm sure they have their reasons, but Activision or whoever will be like, this is what we want to get. Yeah. And then if it doesn't hit that, then they're like, it was disappointing. It doesn't necessarily mean it was bad. It was just not, it didn't quite get where they wanted to get.
What it means is leading up to the release of a game, you get things like Gizmodo or whoever releasing articles, and they'll be like, Destiny 3 is slated to get 10 million copies in the first week sold.
And you're like, Christ.
And you're like, oh, cool. This sounds like everyone's like really hyped for this game, right? And it builds that hype. And then it comes out and it only sells, like, let's just say 8 million, right?
Yeah.
And then Activision's like, it's a very disappointing number.
And you're just like, wow, that's 8 million fucking copies. Like,
not a bad sale.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, so I do agree. I think that might be part of it. But who knows as well? Like, Activision might just be like, you're not making enough money for us. You can go.
Yeah,
but
but even honestly, I think, and I would probably have the sentiment of a lot of other Destiny players as well. If they scaled back a lot of the extra shit you could do in Destiny, and even provided a more streamlined, engaging game. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I don't need every fucking bell and whistle.
Yeah.
Like I just want, realistically, I want some fun guns that I can run around and shoot aliens with.
Yep.
I want to be able to get into raids with my friends, and PvP is a whole big thing for some people. I played a little bit.
Yeah.
Not
it's
totally.
Not
you could drop
jam.
it, I don't care.
Yeah. But there's a big group of people that would want
the thing is, just like, if we have these things, then like we don't need to be like, we have like all these maps and we have all this and we do this, and you'd be like, if you just make a solid streamlined game and work to a budget, whatever the budget is, because there's a level of trust with Bungie. It's one of these, beloved developers that you're like, well, work to your budget and you'll make a good game with whatever money you have, and we'll buy it. And it was funny because some of my mates were like, I'm way more interested now in buying DLC, extra content, now that I know the money is going to Bungie, who give a fuck about the game, rather than the monolith of and I know it's more perception, but like the monolith of Activision Blizzard that are like, we don't give a fuck, give us money, scrub. Like,
the thing is, you always it always comes back to like you always hear those stories like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, right, and Infinity Ward, right? This is 10, even 11, 12 years ago now, but the publisher withheld funds from Infinity Ward and said you're not getting paid for Modern Warfare 2 until you make Modern Warfare 3.
Which is ridiculous.
It's
like
just,
that.
And
That's like scum.
It happens to book
writers as well
all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
So they'll sign a contract saying, we'll do a 3-game thing or 3 books or whatever.
First one.
But the contract is, I'm going to write 3 books.
Yeah.
And then the publisher will be like, okay, sweet. And then they write the first one. Oh, did well.
But you're not going to
write the next one until like your contract is we're going to pay you for 3 books. It doesn't say when we're going to pay you, kind of thing, right? Yeah. So yeah, it can be a bit shady.
But yeah, so hopefully it works out. I think the community is very excited. And they released a couple of new update. Like recently, they did a whole recent big patch of weapons and shit getting changed as they do every so often.
Yeah.
But it actually came with like this letter from one of their higher ups about like, you know, welcome back to 2019. You know, thanking Activision for their part up until this point in Destiny and Destiny 2, but also being like, we've got all this stuff planned. And we've got this and this and. Like the message was very positive, and it almost like it's funny because like I mean, you know, you see press releases, but you can still kind of get a sense of like the feeling like, oh, this is like a generic presser to be like, yeah, cool, we're excited to make more games. Like they're like genuinely, it felt like genuine excitement. Yeah, but it was like, no, we've got heaps of shit coming. We've got heaps of stuff coming, and we're like really pumped to like get it out to people. And I'm like, cool,
sounds
great. And if they're gonna keep like Destiny 3 will probably come out. My guess is next year.
And it's like early next year, maybe.
My guess is next year. Because generally that's how the cycles go. But we'll see.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll it's interesting. It's always big news when like something like this happens where you're like there's so much money involved in like AAA development now. Like when this happens, you're like, fuck, that's like millions of dollars like just out the door. For them. So
yeah. But yeah, definitely keen to see how this pans out. Like you said, it's a bit risky, but it can also be very exciting. It can be very good.
I think what you'll also see is they'll have to sort of expand, I think, in terms of like they've got Destiny, which is a money maker, right?
Yeah.
They're going to need a couple more, maybe not as big, but like money makers that bring in regular amounts of money.
Like so other streams of revenue, you can't like just rely entirely on Destiny.
Yeah, well, that's like Activision Blizzard. They're like, as long as Hearthstone exists, we don't care. like they're gonna make money forever.
As long as Hearthstone exists, as long as World of Warcraft is still going,
people are gonna like fucking pay money for their subscriptions.
We're good.
Cool. Overwatch can make $0. It doesn't matter.
Oh god.
Okay. So the thing, like you're right. Blizzard's got Overwatch, WoW, and Hearthstone, right?
And
not even that. That is like the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, but I'm just saying those are the big 3.
Yeah.
So just to kind of wrap it up, not so much a topic, but more of our usual. What are we looking forward to? What are we excited for? But just kind of broaden it out a little bit and just go, what is there this whole year, rather than just, hey, what are you doing now? What do you want to recommend? Is there anything that you know that's coming up that you're keen to come across or play, watch? Whatever the case may be.
I'll be honest. The thing that's okay. So I've got 3 D&D campaigns on the go.
Yeah.
So that's like any gaming time I have is dedicated to it.
Yeah.
I'm a player in 2 and I'm DMing a 3rd.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, any gaming time is spent.
So long video games.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, play D&D. It's good fun.
It really is. Like when we started our campaign, I was just like, I'm just gonna try this out. I've never done this before. I don't know what it's gonna be like. You get really into it.
It's really fun.
It's really fun.
The
way that I describe it to people that aren't geeky and into games and stuff like that is just like, it's a story, but you're interacting in it way more than anything else. Like you're interacting in it more than reading a book, more than watching a movie, more than playing a video game. But you can also, if you're not like someone that is crazy into like, oh, I'm gonna go role play these heaps. You can absolutely be like you can be a much more drawn back character. You can kind of just sit there and just be in there for the battles and like the way that I play it is I don't roll, like I'm not going, I am my character, I am doing this. I'm like, okay, this is my character. This is what my character would do. This is what he would say. And stuff like that.
Like our mini argument. I said last week we had this argument. I feel like we can get into this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
this is our podcast, Ryan. We can get into whatever we want to
it's
get
our
into.
fucking podcast. We're going to talk about D&D.
We're burning the forest down, Ryan.
The next hour is just going to be D&D. So, my character is like a nature-loving
hippie.
half-orc.
His character is a half-orc hippie.
No, quite the opposite. Half-orc cleric, which means religious. Anyway, the point is, doesn't want to burn down the forest. These guys
want to burn down the forest.
We're not okay. You're pennying about like we love burning down forests.
No,
I'm just saying, like,
burn down forests every other weekend.
We're running from an army that is going to basically murder us,
and the 40 people that we're trying to save.
And then we're like, the only thing we've got left is to slow them down. Is to set the forest on fire behind us, in
character, Ben and I were like having this fucking argument. It's like, no, we are not going to fucking burn the forest down.
I'm like, I will slap you if we do not burn this forest down. If you stop us from burning. So the point there is, yes, you can be as invested or as into it as much as you want.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
it's really enjoyable because it's a really
if you just want to go and kill some orcs, that's fine.
I think the best way I've seen is when I started DMing was because I started with like four new players and one sort of experienced player. The experienced player kind of just took charge. He for a little bit
to get them into it, right?
Like I described, you're sitting in a pub, there's something happening outside. So he's like, okay, well I go outside. I'm like, do the rest of you follow?
Sure.
And then he goes and talks to people, and I react, and so they sort of saw that and they're like, oh, that's kind of what
this is what you do, yeah.
And for the people that know video games but haven't played D&D, imagine you're walking around in an open world game, but you reach the edge of the world. There's no edge of the world.
There's no map.
Yeah.
There's no game map. It's just you just go.
And there's no, you talk to a person and he says the same thing, right? There's no...
There's also no dialogue options. That's really important to remember. Yeah. It's not like, I have to tell them every single thing I know ever, because that'll unlock the conversation option where he goes, oh, I'll give you a mission. It's just like, they're other human beings, and you'll talk to them, and like, if you say something like, if you're like snide to them, they'll act accordingly.
Exactly. Yeah. If you act like a dick, people are going to act like a dick back.
Yeah.
If you insult them or you hit them or something, that's going to have consequence.
So
you can't just smack a
there's nothing scripted. There's nothing scripted about it. The only scripted part of it is the DM trying to narrate, effectively,
and keep the wall in order, basically.
Things going. Yeah. But aside from that, all interactions, all choices, everything is just entirely up to you, and you. So that's the thing, right? It's up to the individual. So for a new player, it can be really fun, or it can be a bit daunting, because some people don't want to have to make all these decisions. Some people don't want to be like, options paralysis. I don't know what to do. How do I interact with this?
Well, that's a different thing, because you don't have like a game controller to be like, boop, 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 this is a jump button, this is a hit button, this
exactly
is whatever.
Right.
You kind of like, what do you do? And you're like,
I don't know. What can I do?
Yeah,
exactly right. But give it a chance. If you do get into it, you, at least for me, I very quickly got comfortable with the idea of just going, oh, okay, I can just talk to this person. I can make this thing happen. But the other aspect of it is you have to make things happen. If you want something to happen, you have to. So it's like, I remember a point in our campaign where I think I wanted to buy something, and then I completely forgot to mention it to Joey.
Yeah.
And then it just never happened, because I never said, hey, I want to go to this shop and see if this thing's available or anything like that. Whereas in a game, you'll see the shop and I'm like, I'm gonna go to
you'll just describe the city and say, a pretty large city. There's like big walls around a bit of a fortress, that stuff and stuff. And then the DM's like, right, what do you do? It's like, well, is there a shop around?
Yeah.
Can I go to the shops? Yeah, sure. There's a few shops. What sort of shop are you looking for?
Yeah.
I want to buy armor.
You do have to be very much involved in order to be able to get the most out of it.
It's almost like a text-based adventure, but like you said, without the dialogue options, without the set paths.
Well, it's like a human-run game.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That's exactly what it is.
It's very human-run. Honestly, like we've been playing heaps of it. And Ryan even more than most. But I reckon that's a pretty good recommendation. Is like, honestly, like, just get into it as well. if
try
you don't,
it. At the very least, try it out. Maybe it's to do a one shot. One shot? Is that what it's called?
One shot.
Like,
yeah,
that's how I got into it. We were like, hey, do you want to do a campaign? Sure. Like, okay, let's just do a one shot first.
Yeah.
And then we go from there.
Yeah, if you go, we're going to do D&D, so it's going to be once a week, 4 hours a week. And you're like, that's a big commitment.
For 2 years.
And you're like, that's a really big commitment.
We've been going for over a year now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, like we played one and we're like, that's pretty fun. You want to do another one? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And then we just kept going. We're like,
and the cool thing as well is, as much of a commitment as it is, people can drop out. Like, we've had 2 people effectively drop out and come back in.
yeah.
So it's like...
And we're not, like, you know, if you can't make it that week, then, okay, maybe we continue on with one player down. Or if 2 people can't make it, maybe we don't do anything that week and we just continue it on the next week after that. You know, like, that's just...
But it's
very flexible.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So, like, my recommendation then, I'm going to change my recommendation, is that, check out some D&D stuff. If you... the biggest thing for a lot of people is, well, I've always wanted to play D&D for a really long time, but I was, like, didn't have a group to play with.
Yeah.
That was the main issue. But if you like the idea of playing D&D, there are some really cool D&D podcasts, and there are some really cool D&D YouTube channels as well.
Yeah.
So my favorite stuff from that is definitely the Adventure Zone, for like an auditory podcast. It is it's much more on the story building realm. It is very light on mechanics. They often just be like, yeah, you can do it, whatever.
Just do that.
Because it makes sense in a more story-driven way. So they kind of get away from the actual playing D&D a little bit. But it kind of gives you a good idea of how you would play D&D. Like the idea of role-playing and the idea of like building a story in a world that you're going to inhabit and have fun in. That's really good. As well as the other main problem that a lot of people have is like, I have 5 friends. We all want to play D&D. No one has been a DM before.
What do you do? Yeah.
Honestly,
DM is such a hard thing to do.
But no, that's the thing. That was going to be my point when you finished, right? Is that...
And you're probably going to recommend the same thing I'm going to, so...
Matt Colville?
Yes. Yes.
Well, I mean, okay, I wasn't going to recommend him explicitly. I was actually going to quote him. I was going to say, if you've got 5 friends and none of you've played before and you're sitting around wondering who's going to be the DM, you're the DM that your group needs. If you're the one saying, hey, who's going to DM, maybe you should step up and
jump into it.
go.
Yeah, jump
and the
into
other
it.
thing as well is that certain games don't need to have the same DM every time.
Nope.
You can take turns being
change
DM.
them over. Yep.
Yeah.
And the thing is, so I was going to say as well, is if you are in that situation and you do want to get into that, Matt Colville is a fantastic DM who makes has had a channel about heaps of D&D stuff, but he has a very good long-running series called Running the Game, which is how to DM for players that don't even know how to play D&D. That aren't even D&D people. So
he's also got a Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons for new players. So I would
so
check that out.
so you can check that out, and it will definitely get you more comfortable. Because I wanted a DM for a while, and I was like, I don't know where to start. I play D&D, and I'm like, I don't know how to start. I don't know what the prep involved. I don't know all this stuff. He goes through everything. It's literally paint by numbers, and so you can
and even
get some friends together, play a one game. It'll be like one night. Have your
a
mates
one
over
shot's good for both new players as well as a new DM.
Yeah, and just hanging out, and you just get to hang out with your mates.
And even beyond this channel, there's lots of resources. There's Roll20 is a fantastic tool that we use. It's very helpful online.
I will also plug our Discord. If you join our Discord, we also have D&D channels. Where we talk about D&D. Also help out as well. So, and they've actually got we've got
our game and another game that I'm also in. So both my player games are on D&D.
Run through Discord.
On Discord.
So if you want to get a group of friends together online, you're more than welcome to use our Discord. Yeah, the link.
Give us a shout. We will set you up with a channel and we'll help you out with everything you need. So let us know.
And then there's also there's like a lot of experienced DMs in that chat as well.
Yeah.
So if you need any assistance with anything, you got people right there to talk to.
Reach out. And if by any chance you just happen to be curious, like, I've never played it before.
Or you can just jump
in and listen in on our one or two of our sessions. Just get a feel of at least what our sessions are like. Doesn't mean that's what any other sessions are like.
That's not what your session is going to be like, because your session is going to be based on what you like.
Based on you. And then lastly, like, I think we've just jumped into this whole D&D kind of recommendation. Even if you're not crazy about the mechanics of calculating how far you move and whether you hit something and stuff like that.
Like, you can tune all of that stuff.
But you can also just get into the lore. There's so much goddamn lore. Like, you can just read up on all the background about all these kind of characters and monsters and shit like that. If you're into lore and just information.
And I will also say...
insane amounts.
In terms of gameplay and stuff, there are... Like, Dungeons and Dragons is a brand of a company. There are other games out there that are similar to D&D.
Yeah.
Yep. Even stuff like... some of us have played Werewolf with some of our viewers.
Yeah.
Werewolf is very similar in the sense that it's got a DM,
one person
not so
running
much
it,
a dungeon,
moderator.
but a moderator, which is effectively like a dungeon master. And on top of that, the different editions of D&D, the latest version of D&D, which is the 5th edition, is drastically simplified compared to
3.5 and
I would highly recommend version 5 for
beginners.
new
for new
players.
players, definitely.
100%.
Yeah.
But the thing is as well is like, you don't even have to play D&D. You could play. There's heaps of other games. I did a few one shots for in another group of friends for Dungeon World, which is the D&D setting is literally D&D played in a different rule set with different dice and everything. So, and it's much more like free form in how you describe what you do and then you do it. It's not like I need to roll a dice to see if I hit. It's just like.
And that's the thing. If medieval high fantasy, like Lord of the Rings style, like elves and dwarves, isn't your thing, there's sci-fi, there's spaghetti westerns, there's so many different settings, so many different games.
But it's a lot of fun. A lot of people do want to play like D&D for the D&D experience, but like honestly, like these kind of things, I think that's the biggest thing we've taken away from like last year as a whole of like how much fun we have doing this.
Yeah.
So, like, honestly, and there's so many resources because I know it's very intimidating for new players.
Yeah.
Or people that want to get into it, always wanted to get into it.
And like I said, reach out on Discord. We're happy to answer questions.
Yeah.
Yep.
You make it your own thing. Especially as a DM, the cool thing about being a DM is you're in control. Like,
I've got so much stuff that I want to talk about, but I'm afraid that my players might watch this and learn all my deep and darkest secrets.
There's actually a rule 0 in being a DM, and rule 0 is the DM is right. Basically, that is like we can have a discussion.
If you have a dispute and like even stuff like this is what it says written down in the rules, it's like that's fine. But I don't like that rule in my game. Yeah. So therefore,
and Joey's done that so many times, like where he's just like, this is the thing in the book, but I don't like that. I want it to work this way, and we're like, sweet.
And
one of the things we actually compromised.
It's not a dictatorship.
One of the things we compromised on was that Joey had a different idea of how spells like revivify,
like
and
resurrecting,
bringing
people back from the dead.
He doesn't want us going around resurrecting like random NPCs, basically.
Yeah. Death should mean something.
One thing we compromised on was that the spells will work for player characters. So this is the thing that Joey and I discussed. If I cast, or any of us cast, a resurrection spell on a player, it'll work exactly as described. If we cast it on an NPC, it might have a chance to fail. It might have some other effect. That sort of stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, we're good.
Yes.
Recommendation: check out D&D. However deep you want to go into it, by all means. If you have any questions for us, if you're curious, jump onto our Discord. We're here.
We'll link a whole bunch of stuff in the description.
And we're always happy to talk about it, so just throw them at our face.
Bit of a meta thing. How crazy was this podcast? We talked about fucking semen. We talked about video games.
We went, and here we are.
Like, this was just quite a
This
ramble,
has been a roller coaster hour and 10 minutes. So thank you very much for joining
if you've made us it this far
and staying with us on this.
Congratulations.
We hope that you've taken a lot out from our first podcast of the year. Once again, jump onto our Discord, check out some of our other stuff on YouTube. Any questions that you have for us regarding any of the topics on the podcast or anything else, let us know.
I want biohacking stories. Seriously.
Biohacking stories.
Comment in the description. I need links to biohacking stories. Please.
But yeah, once again, thank you very much for joining us, and we look forward to interacting with you in our next podcast and some of our other videos and stuff that we do.
Yeah, join us on Discord, join us on YouTube, join us on SoundCloud and iTunes and all the fun stuff.
Correct, sir.
Cool.
All right, thank you all very much.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Bye.
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 Huh.